you think of the fact that the people who are getting the big crowds right now are AOC and Bernie Sanders? They're going around the country. Thank you, there's that same guy. I call him the always wrong guy. Okay, but I feel like, big crowds, again, the shiny object that the Democrats chase. It's not about the big crowds that come out to you when you're talking in a festival or wherever they are. I think it's because I think Bernie showed up at Coachella. That must have been fun for the fans. It's who shows up on Election Day. And I just don't see that's the ticket. I mean, Cory Booker, I know you've worked with him. I like Cory a lot from my home state of New Jersey. Made a speech for 25 hours. Again, just whacking each other off. This is just not what's going to get the job done. You get a certain amount of cult followers for anything, and then the true believers never die. I mean, a lot of people would say right now, the Democratic Party is still in that mode, which is going to render them possibly an irrelevant party if they don't change.
What would you like to see from the Democrats, going forward?
Well, much more centrism, much more get rid of the woke baggage, Old school liberal is what I usually describe myself as. But that's very often the opposite of woke. Woke would like people to believe that they're some sort of an extension of liberalism, but they're not. They're usually something that's quite opposite. Liberalism was, we should have a colorblind society and not see race at all. That's not what the woke believe.
Yeah, I would say
they're the opposite.
Quite.
Let's put race at the front of everything.
You're going to love this Bill Maher isn't just criticizing woke media for their non-stop obsession with Trump. He's launching a full-blown intellectual assault on the anti-Israel protest movement, and it's getting intense. Recently, he called out Bernie Sanders and AOC for refusing to condemn pro-Palestinian activists who disrespected the U.S. flag by covering it with a Palestinian one. But that's not all. What slipped under the radar was Maher's scathing critique of woke Democrats shamelessly using identity politics to score points. Fortunately, I've got every fiery clip ready to go. So hit that subscribe button and let's dive in.
If the thought leaders in the Democratic Party keep encouraging and not rebuking the idea that America is cringe and the people who run Gaza are great, the Democrats are doomed. Alyssa Slotkin's right. Liberals are weak and woke, especially the white ones, and they indulge all sorts of nonsense from their kids, a pattern that then continues on in the Democratic Party. Last election, it was all the gender stuff, the insistence that men can have babies and such, and now I fear that we like the terrorists is the new that. Liberals need to push back on the dumb ideas that come from their children.
Maher came out swinging from the very first moment because, let's be honest, the woke nonsense on the left has gone from annoying to outright self-destructive. Last year, the so-called adults in the room pushed their woke ideologies hard and paid a steep price at the ballot box. You would think that lesson would have stuck. But no, this term, it is the younger Democrats who are doubling down, marching in the same ideological parade. And if they keep it up, it will not just cost them votes. It could blow the entire DNC off the map. And the most shocking part, what Maher said next, left even his own audience stunned.
The meaning of the word woke has changed. It became something else. The crowd decided that it was the word we're using for too far leftist crazy bullshit. And I just would love to know what you think about that.
It was inevitable that that was going to happen because a certain small but influential crowd of people were really obnoxious in 2020 and 2021. 15 years from now, and I'll bet woke is just going to mean somebody who jumps all over you. It's not going to be about left or right. Don't talk to Aunt Hattie about Uncle Joe because they're broken up now and she's going to go all woke on you.
Shocking, but absolutely true. Once upon a time, woke meant being socially aware, standing up for justice, and trying to make the world a better place. But over the past 5 years, that meaning has been hijacked. Powerful media outlets and self-righteous elites have twisted it into something toxic, an ideology so disconnected from common sense, it borders on delusion. We are talking about beliefs that defy biology, rewrite history, and shame anyone who dares to ask a question, and the damage is real. These ideas have destroyed careers, divided families, and are slowly eroding the moral foundation of the nation. But they do not care. In fact, they are doubling down, celebrating the chaos while pretending it is progress. And if you think they have hit rock bottom, just wait. What comes next is even worse.
You get a certain amount of cult followers for anything, and then the true believers never die. I mean, a lot of people would say right now, the Democratic Party is still in that mode, which is going to render them possibly an irrelevant party if they don't change.
What would you like to see from the Democrats, like, going forward?
Well, much more centrism, much more get rid of the woke baggage, you know. Old school liberal is what I usually describe myself as. But that's very often the opposite of woke. Woke would like people to believe that they're some sort of an extension of liberalism, but they're not. They're usually something that's quite opposite. Liberalism was, we should have a colorblind society and not see race at all. That's not what the woke believe.
Yeah, I would say
they're the opposite.
Quite.
Let's put race at the front of everything.
Now, Maher has not mentioned AOC by name just yet, but we all know the kind of politics she supports. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is as woke as they come, and identity politics is her go-to strategy. We will explore that more in a moment. But here is where it gets interesting. Maher believes the Democrats are flirting with irrelevance. If they keep prioritizing identity over ideas, and AOC is practically the poster child for that approach. Remember when she dismissed criticism from moderate Democrats as racism and misogyny, or when she accused the GOP of being afraid of women of color in Congress, instead of engaging in real policy discussions. These are not isolated incidents. They are part of a larger pattern. Maher sees it clearly. If Democrats continue to let identity politics guide the agenda, they will lose the broader base. Because when every disagreement is labeled as oppression, meaningful debate dies, and with it the credibility of the party.